So, Doc, you want to know what's broken in me? Everything.
Why do you do that every time?
What did I do?
That's the problem. You don't even see it. Why can't I have my own car? He is so embarrassing.
Frank, what's going on?
You know, Lily.
I wish you'd let me help you.
Damn it, Sarah. We talked about this.
No, we didn't. You decided and told us what the golden rule was.
Do you see your marriage as a competition?
No. See, Frank has control issues. He likes to dominate everyone and everything in his life.
Hello, little girl.
You cheated. You can't do that. I didn't cheat. You just suck. You would know about sucking. Are you okay? Yeah, it's not the first time she's hit me. Thank you. Really appreciate that. Daddy, please.
Let go.
Let go of me.
I'm sorry.
Do you like it? It reminded me of you. You're not my little girl anymore, are you, Lily?
Let me go.
What's wrong with you?
So you see, Doc, once you've lost your innocence, right and wrong becomes a little cloudy. The world a little more volatile. People become pawns for your own survival. Because in the end, the only person a good girl can rely on isn't her loving mother or her dedicated father. The only person a good girl can rely on is herself.
And here we are again on another episode of Podcast of Traveling Actors with your host, Deaton and Gabbard,
And Brandon Wall.
and with special guest.
Hey, I'm Chase Dudley. I don't know what I'm supposed to say at this point. I'm just
Well, that was perfect. And we're done, guys. Thank you. I'm glad y'all. All right, so we'll just go ahead and jump into it, man. So kind of just tell us how you started, getting into the film industry and what made you want to pursue this.
well, I've been wanting to be a filmmaker since the beginning of time. Well, I say that like I'm Genesis, but since I was a kid, I wanted to be a filmmaker. But at the time, I really wanted to be an actor because that's what you saw. But since I did not know how to join, I joined casting agencies, paid lots of money to try to be featured into a film. You're on that in 2004. You're on that website where your headshot's all on there. Nobody's ever called you. You're paying them this money to feature you on this, and you never. So you're spending $200 or $300 a month, and you don't get one phone call.
I do remember that.
It's right. So I'm tired of waiting because I'm a very impatient person when it comes to when you want something to happen and you feel like it needs to happen now. And I watched 8 Mile in 2002 and I thought I gotta blow up now. And that inspired me. So, but in seriousness, so once I got my camcorder, I just started recording, and then I realized I was really kind of featuring myself to be a director and didn't realize it. And then when I first made my couple features, I was trying to be the star, and then I had to direct it and
Trying to wear all the hats.
My films were very atrocious because you're wearing 10,000 hats. And then I had it really came to me where I looked at my wife when I was filming the movie Payday, which is the first movie that really turned out to be a really big hit of mine. And I looked at
It's on Prime Video, right?
It's on Prime. It was on Hulu.
I remember when
it's on the Roku channel. It was on a lot of platforms. I don't even really look because I'm so I'm always moving this way.
Yeah, well, once it's done, it's out there. You move on to the next one anyway.
Yeah,
so.
And it's kind of one of those things. Is when I go back and I rewatch it, I'm like, why did I do that? Why? You're not worthy of being a filmmaker. Right? So So I don't watch any of my work, but I was supposed to be the star of that movie, and it was just so stressful, like learning my lines and then like
Directing,
right, and directing, and then I got my first investor for that project, and it was just it was a very hands-on investor, and like we had like 3 months to prep this movie, and me and my wife was very stressed to the max, and I just looked at her and said, "There's no way I'm acting in this movie." Yeah, and so I pulled a Ben Affleck because Ben Affleck weeks before stepped down as Batman, and he's just going to focus on directing. Yeah. Which I think with him was vice versa. He stepped down from directing. He's like, I'm just going to be Batman. Yeah. And then you see how that went.
But it's also good, and I think this is a good quality of a good filmmaker anyway, is knowing your place, like knowing your limitations. And it seems like you knew that right from the beginning.
Because a lot of people do that as well, is either write something and put themselves in it and want to direct it, and then it doesn't turn out well because they don't understand, like, it takes one person to do one job. Like it's really hard. Tyler Perry does it really well, I will say, but Tyler Perry
has a lot of staff.
He
has 3 or 4 ADs to be able to tell him if he doesn't look good. When you're in the indie world, you're lucky to have an AD. You know, and but again, not taking away from anyone. I realized if my films before Payday, I just seen a really big significant dip in quality because I was trying to do everything. And, you know, one thing, I can't do everything. I have to be either a director, and I just learned to direct more. Don't get me wrong, I would love to be an actor. Yeah. But I'm just not meant to be because I don't think I'm much of an actor. Yeah, I really don't. Like, I look at my acting and I'm like, yeah.
Like, I'll stay behind it.
Yeah, I'll stay behind the camera because, like, now I'm able to book actors like you, for example. You are an actor. You can act. But that's also great that you're a filmmaker, too. But you actually are blessed to have more than one. I wish I could act. I'm just not that guy. But I don't want to be that person where I want to be like, Arnold Schwarzenegger, where I'm just acting in these movies and like I can't act. And not throwing shade at Arnold. I love Arnold.
You see that a lot though, where people are like, I want to act, and they do it, and it's awful, but they think that they're good, or they continue to do it, or they don't take acting classes, and they're just out there acting, and it's just like, this is really bad. Like, you should. No,
my acting was cringeworthy. I knew it, and I'm like, I'm more of a director, and when I noticed from shooting Payday and then to Beast in the Field and then Locked In, like, I really want to say Locked In, I really felt I found my director's voice. I really collaborated well with Charlie Brady, which he wrote 2 phenomenal scripts for me. Love collaborating with Charlie Brady. Due to health reasons, he had to step back for Broken Innocence, and this was like literally 4 weeks before we were shooting this film. And you know, we did a crowdfunding last year, and crowdfunding is a lot of work. Crowdfunding is a job on top of a job on top of your movie. It is a whole different beast, and I was not ready. You're so scatterbrained because you got like 1,000,001 tabs open because you're communicating with so many people, and then it's just like constantly, give me money.
Yeah, that's literally what you're doing. You're like, I need money. Give me money.
Yeah, and it was just a weird experience because, like, you know, some people, like, if you don't mark down your message this person and you accidentally ask somebody twice and that person screenshots you and blasts you, look at Chase Dudley asking me more again. I just told him no. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. You know, and it's like, there was a lot of people to put me on blast on that. And I'm like, all I'm trying to do is just really make a quality-based film. And it's like, the struggle is real for indie artists because we don't have no studio with a blank check. Like, I would just want to get a lick of the money that Disney wastes on their movies and TV shows. Yeah.
Like, just for marketing.
Well, exactly, because they like spent $250 million, didn't even know it on She-Hulk, and then they were like, oh, hang on, we went over budget.
It's crazy.
But they say it like it's so nonchalant. Like, we went over, we need to cut it back a little bit. Like, $250 million.
We're going to fire Stephen A. on ESPN.
Replace him with a dog.
We're going to call Pixar. They're going to do a Toy Story 5. That's how we're going to do that. But
Guaranteed.
But again, that's a good problem to have when you. But indie, you spend that money. That's your money. You probably down for another 6 months or another year. It's so easy to go over budget, and I learned this when we shot the movie Beast of the Field. I don't know what in the world. If I can go back in time travel, I would slap myself for seriously thinking I can shoot a movie 95% outdoor. and not deal with any weather. We had Hurricane Florence come through the Carolinas in 2018, comes through Kentucky, dump a lot of rain on us. My lighting is ruined. And this is all rented. So, of course, the insurance really didn't like me because we had to pay for all of that. Because that stuff that was outdoors that got ruined that we had. Our special makeup effects didn't look great because it's raining. The actors are trying to deliver their line. It's sliding everywhere. Me and my wife are sitting there. I mean, it felt like Home Alone 2, like everybody's just falling. But the one thing that was positive about the whole experience was everybody on set was in a good mood. I don't know how. Yeah. Because, you would thought everybody being rained on in September wasn't the warmest of time.
But what we realized too, and we talked about this previously as well, is if you have a bunch of people that are passionate about something, it doesn't matter whether it's bad set, rainy, whatever. If you're with a group of people that are doing what they love to do, it usually just turns out really well.
And going on
people
that,
love to be there. It's all about passion.
Going on that, you also can tell the difference of the people that are there, like fully low budget, because they're just there for like a paycheck, or they're there because they genuinely want to be part of the team and make this a good project.
See, I love working with filmmakers in front of the screen and behind the screen with that mentality because I know different personalities come in, and not everybody's going to mesh well, but at the end of the day, it's still an experience that can be a one-time thing. And I really always try to get to know the people I had that experience with because you just never know if you were to see them again.
Yeah, exactly.
And, and it's a moment. And I always try to seize the moment.
It's a family, honestly. You
for better or worse.
With all these people,
I always call it a summer camp. Like different film sets are basically like going to summer camp for a couple of weeks and you're sad because you've worked with these people for like 12 hours a day, every day.
Man, Locked In was a really fun project. It was really cold. And I felt bad because, Amber Dawn Fox and Nalia Shukarova, they were very dressed because it's a film that deals with human trafficking. So they're literally he's selling their torture and content to the dark web. So he kind of had them half dressed in the movie and they were just cold. And I was just like, I had to figure out, I whipped out my credit card and I was like, somebody go get these people like a electric blanket. Yeah. Cause it was crazy because we shot majority of the movie in this barn and the barn kept the cold in. Yeah. It felt like the Saw scene. I almost made that Saw scene where the scene where she was getting sprayed and she just iced over. But it was such a good experience. And again, working with Amber Dawn Fox, I worked with her numerous times and she's really, really very enthusiastic, passionate about what she does. And she loves what she does. And working on Broken Innocence, Ariana Harris, I never worked with she was like the youngest person I worked with. Really? She was like 15 years old. I almost really questioned, should I go after a teenager with this project because that's the subject matter? I'm like, I was really thinking about how my perception is going to look. I'm like, man,
well, tell us a little bit about Broken Innocence for those who don't know.
Oh, right. I'm just sitting there talking like everybody knows. Yeah, everybody knows. Right, I have a Samuel L. Jackson vibe here. No, I'm kidding. So Broken Innocence is like a really big it's like a psychological thriller drama. Lily is being sexually abused by her father, and but see, it's like to majority of the audience, you should really see all the signs, but her mom's kind of dealing with a different battle she's going through being an alcoholic, and then her friends, they know something's wrong, but they can't pinpoint it what it quite is. And this movie is kind of similar to The People Under the Stairs / I Spit on Your Grave, but not with the vulgarness. It's more like it focused more on the mental health and the psychological aspects of what women go through and how they shut down and how they either do one or two things. With this, she's like, I got to get from the situation. So she literally starts killing to get her way out of it. And I don't want to give too much away because it's a lot of things that go into the movie. But man, it's my proudest moment of a filmmaker because we raised $60,000 on the Indiegogo campaign. It was a lot of work. It was a lot of late nights, very little sleep. And on set, it was some long hours. And
it's rewarding, though, man. It's rewarding.
It is. like releasing the trailer and getting 100,000 views in 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's great.
It's worth it.
That was the first time I smiled at something that I released, because usually you're like, hey, did you see my, you're like had to send people.
You're forcing people like, watch this.
Watch this, please. And like, but this one, it was people doing the opposite. It was a lot of people sharing. It was a lot of people like commenting. It was a lot of people like, man, this looks really good.
We got a bunch of engagement.
Yeah,
right
what
off the
did
bat.
kind of trigger spiral that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a good,
you
did a great job promoting it.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
I mean, the crazy thing is like because my wife's just like, we can't believe it. My page went from like 3,000 to the beginning of the year last year, and like I'm at 134,000 followers.
That's
And
so
I did not do
congrats.
anything.
Yeah.
It's all organic, because some haters said that I paid for followers. No, I did not. You can literally go on my posts and see the people that I'm interacting with.
Yeah.
And it's just growing staggering numbers. I'm not doing put no money into growing my page. I don't even have
That just means
time.
people believe in you. That's what it is.
That is the most rewarding part about being a filmmaker, is just like talking to people who love movie making as much
From your
as me.
fans. Yeah.
Like before we just went on air and we were talking about one of our journeys in like being a filmmaker. That right there is, I just love talking movies, and just talking to people on Facebook about movies all day. I never thought that I'd just wake up and.
No, I love it. I see every time I get on Instagram, I see him post like it was like a like or love, and it'd be like, who do you? And I love stuff like that. Just seeing like that makes me happy, seeing people that are interested and love doing that stuff and that love film.
I love it, dude.
Yeah,
like
it's
I wouldn't
amazing.
have it no other way. And then you got a few people. Well, I can't believe you're comparing them. Why are we doing this? I'm like. It's everybody. So everybody has a favorite. It's no harm.
It's just fun, man. It's true. Yeah.
It's funny because again, all different personalities, shape, and form comes everywhere. But those people like always cracks me up on Facebook. I'm just like, it's not that serious.
It is not that serious. If you don't like it, just scroll right by it. I mean, that's all it is.
It's like literally seeing dog poo and walking towards it and stepping in it.
Yeah.
I mean, but like
Rather than just going around it.
But with me though, I always tend to just talk about things I love more. I try to keep negative energy.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, naturally we all have doubts and stuff like that kind of drag us down. I try not to get in my own way, but I like to talk to people who are passionate about what they do.
Yeah.
Like you in junior high, we've been Facebook friends.
Man. Yeah.
I mean, like, here we are now.
Yeah, it's been 13 years, but I mean, here we are. It's
So that's the kind of people I like to talk to. Is this people who love making movies. I feel like if we had more people in the industry that love making movies, I feel like that was the blessing of the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, and I felt like that was the cutoff of passionate films.
Yeah, because now they make them for money.
It feels like it feels like a factory, a warehouse,
the mass production,
assembly. Right.
Yeah, it's crazy. But like you said, and we've had this conversation multiple times. If we can just get a group of people like that together, like a group of people from Louisville, a group of people from Kentucky or Indiana, surrounding states, just who are great at what they do, and just put them together and make a movie or make a short film or just do something. It would turn out amazing.
Put the egos aside.
Yeah.
But there's just too much competition.
But that's I feel the wrong thing. I feel different. I don't look at you as competition.
I don't either.
I don't look at like Tori Jones. Phenomenal filmmaker.
Yeah.
Not my competition because he has beloved fan base that support him. And I have a fan base that supports me. We're not in competition.
Yeah.
Like if if he needs help or I need help, it should be like because Steven Spielberg calls Christopher Nolan and all of that stuff like that. It shouldn't be, well, I'm not going to help you because me helping you is my competition.
Yeah.
That is the downfall because the more that Louisville thrive and the more people that wins in Louisville, the more it's going to open up the floodgates for filmmakers to bring their films to Louisville. I mean, look at some of the Hollywood movies that are coming now with the tax incentives. If we actually put more energy into supporting one another, because we all can really win.
Yeah, I mean, it's not for everybody.
It's not like Millionaires Row where it's one jockey and a horse winning, and then you're back here and they're like, look at him. It's not even like that. Everybody can be in the winner's circle, and everybody can be good and feel good, and it's that.
Yeah, and that's why I love like just supporting people on Facebook, and you do it a lot too. Like where you share people's stuff and you like comment on people's stuff, and you're like, okay, I support you. Send money in Indiegogos or whatever the case may be. Like just having those support support people around you. And in Louisville, I will say Louisville has a lot of people that do support indie film, which I absolutely love because I see it all the time. You see the same
Louisville's
people.
very artistic.
They're
The home of
amazing.
Muhammad Ali, Jennifer Lawrence, Tom Cruise, George Clooney, Ashley Judd. And the list goes on and on and on. Jerry Bruckheimer literally lives 2 hours away from here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so many
It's
talented
cool, man.
people,
It's
and
cool.
you just don't think about that.
Yeah, it's cool. So what kind of like genre would you want to work like with? I know you've done Broken Innocence and Blood on the Bleachers?
Blood in the Bleachers I'm working on now. This is I can't believe it's my first slasher. I love
That's what I
slashers.
was gonna ask you, 'cause
Yeah.
I feel like
I couldn't believe that either.
Yeah.
I thought you already did one.
I was so shocked.
Yeah.
I looked. I mean, I felt like I was Bruce Willis in The Sixth Sense when he found out he was dead. I really thought I'd done horror, but Locked In. Excuse me. I had a Whopper.
That sounds good.
Oh my god!
Sponsorship.
I was Iron Man that day. That was the traffic, man. But Locked In was more psychological than it was horror. This is more like it's going to be like
Straight up horror.
Yeah, straight up
Nice.
like horror. 90s
That's exciting,
straight.
though,
I'm
yeah.
very excited about this because growing up, that's all I watched.
Yeah.
But my dream genre, I would really like to work on outside of this. I really want to shoot a western.
Really?
Yeah,
I really want to shoot a
fun.
spaghetti western, and I want to do a Civil War biopic. I have an amazing script for a Civil War biopic. And because Kentucky has such a very interesting history.
Yeah,
because
that's true.
Kentucky was
Yeah.
a neutral state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's so much to do with that. That being said, I definitely want to do all kinds of different things. I want to be like Spielberg because that's my favorite filmmaker. Yeah. This man has done horror. This man has done musicals. This man has done slavery. He's done The Color Purple. I'm like, what? He did The Color Purple? Man, he has some soul in there. Like, he probably needs some collard greens and all that shit. But no, I mean, I was just surprised that this man's resume, the same year this man has directed Jurassic Park, Schindler's List. I mean, then you got Saving Private Ryan. I know, it's like three, I mean, like so many
Indiana
different types of
Jones,
films.
just goes on and on.
E.T.,
it's crazy.
which E.T. was originally supposed to be a horror film, but then they were like, oh, we're going to do a kid mode.
Yeah.
Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Yeah.
You know, he did Ready Player One.
Yeah.
He did Amistad.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, Minority Report.
I know he
World
did
of the
Minority.
Worlds.
Oh, dude, I forgot about World of the World.
Bridge of
That's
Spies.
amazing.
I mean, this man has direct Jaws.
Yeah.
Duel.
Everything
you know?
he touches or produces, it's
magic. It really is magic.
It's crazy.
And he knows how to set up a scene like no one. And I wanted my body of work to really. I don't want to. I mean, no disrespect to horror. I love horror, but I don't want to just do horror. I don't want to just do dark content. I want to make family films. I want to do all kinds of different movies because I would like to do something that I can put my kids in.
Right. That'd be awesome. Yeah.
And I'm sure also like it's just more of a challenge. Like, oh, I did that one already. I don't want to do that again. I think that
I'm not really a repetitive guy.
Yeah.
I would sit there and announce that I'm gonna do a sequel, and a year later, no, I'm not doing it.
Never mind.
There's so many projects I announced I was doing, and I go a different direction, and I'm a very conflicted person. I'm kind of like Iron Man. Like I would literally be on board with something, and then just one day I'm like, nah, I've already done that.
Yeah.
I just want to break new ground,
Which is awesome though too, because then you venture out and experience different things too. Because I mean, just creating a family film compared to a horror film or compared to a nostalgic '90s film, like the preparation's all different.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a new experience every single time you do a different genre. Anyway,
Keep it
And you'll be
fresh.
working
exactly.
with, I mean, for the most part, we'll be working with completely different people.
Yeah.
Because the crew's going to be different for that genre. The set in itself, I mean, like comedies compared to a horror set are always, like
That's what I'm
different
saying,
vibes
yeah.
completely.
Well, I hope I'm blessed to have the cinematographer that Steven Spielberg has had over 30 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Where I just give him a look. Oh, you want the 180? All right. Because
That chemistry. is
a
what it
D-
is.
yeah, exactly, because
Yeah.
a DP is essentially like your spouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I call Brandon Benz like a lot.
I love Brandon. Great.
Yeah, he is really, really good.
Yeah.
He cracks me up when he sends me a lot of voice messages because he talks so fast. And then he talks so fast that he goes, and then he catches up and then he goes again.
Yeah.
But I have to say, he is probably my most compatible DP I've worked with.
Yeah.
He is like he's the guy that really I like how he wings it. Like, he never told me no that we can't do something. He's like, I've never done it. We can try it. Actually, what? It didn't work. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go handheld, and then and he'll just go into the spill, and it's like he is really good and witty and sharp, and he looks like Bill Burr to me. He looks like Bill Burr with a mix of Patrick. He was in Aqua. He's in almost every James Wan. In the face, he looks like him.
Can't think of his name. He plays his brother.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what is it. I don't know.
Patrick something.
Yeah, but like he looks like Brandon Benz in the face, and like Brandon was like, "Wow, He's like, I can see that actually." But the first time I met him, he came location scouting. He literally had his whole. He was very prepared, very spontaneous, but planned. He's very particular, but he's adventurous, and that's how I like to work. Yeah. And it was like so many things that just wasn't working on set because we literally had under a month to get to know each other. I was terrified because my other DP had to pull out for health reasons. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to have to delay the movie. I'm freaking out, as if the campaign alone is not already nuts, But so I'm like, oh my God. And everybody's like, calm down. Don't you want to calm down? But then I met him and he was like, I want to come out on set. And usually a DP never says that first. They're like, just send me pictures. Like, how's that going to help? But he came out, he looked at the locations. He literally had this light thing I've never seen no DP did. And he's literally doing all of this stuff. And he's like, I tell you what, we could do all of this. And I'm like, we literally took possible 14-hour day.
Yeah.
Dude, he's just so easy going.
Yeah, he's so good.
And it's good, when you get people like that, because, like you said, it makes your job a lot easier, too. Yeah. And that chemistry, if you can build that chemistry up with somebody, you can eventually just look at it and be like...
We had to really watch ourselves because our personalities are so similar and our humor. We had to really watch because the type of nature of the film that was on is a very serious tone. So there was a lot of times we're like, dude, we got to be good. Because, of course, a lot of actors are putting a lot of effort in. Mm-hmm. And one thing I would tell you about Ariana that I really wanted to mention, I almost said and I forgot. When I was not sure about her age, she literally did 3 takes of a 5-minute monologue.
Wow.
I'm talking about it's a full page.
Yeah.
Of this amazing line that I can't give away because it's part of the movie. You heard it in the trailer. But that monologue was her. She did it 3 times. And this was like 1:30 in the morning. Yeah. She was tired again, but she was a trooper. Her mom was a trooper. And her mom is just the nicest person. But her mom, at first, before she said anything, she was just kind of had her arms crossed, and I thought I was about to get cussed out. Because there was already some people said something else said, I thought that she was going to cuss me out, but she was the most nicest person. Awesome. And she was just like, what do you need? Not only was she just an on-set mom, she was like, whatever she can help. She was ironing clothes. She was help. Awesome. One of the other stage moms went out and they were helping direct traffic so we can get the noise.
Nice.
It was just like a set like no other. And then just hearing how good the audio was, because, with my last film, then, you get what you pay for. I didn't really have a lot of money because it was a much less budget.
Yeah.
And, resumes look good until people show up. And,
I always ask
I'm not trying to throw shade at nobody, but my sound guy, you watch my movie Locked In, you would know that the sound was not well. Yeah. But Broken Innocence, you're like, dude, this is like
legit film. Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
And then the visuals what Brandon did, and it was just, that was the first movie to really put a smile on my face when I seen it. I was just in tears of how
that's awesome.
My name is attached to this project, and this is what.
And how long have you been doing this for, though? I just kind of want to bring that.
Dude, my first film that I've ever made, that Iowa show, in 2008.
Okay.
And I've been doing it, technically since 2006.
Yeah. It's crazy.
I've been through, I've been through a lot of accomplishing my dreams, because filmmaking it can be a lonely gig, because you're constantly got this passion and it's a calling. And it's like the Jumanji noise, doom, 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 doom. And it's like it's calling you all the time. And you just... And it's but it's hard, because if somebody doesn't really truly want what's best for you, they don't understand that. And then it comes, well, when are you going to spend time with me? And then it's like, why do I feel like I'm choosing? And it's like filmmaking is a part of who I am, and a part of loving me is like, you know,
so true.
But one thing I'm really grateful is my kids, like Don Tinkley, they're 13 years old and they're very supportive of it. And
that's awesome.
They're very like excited that things are really elevating. They're like, oh my God, Dad, you're really starting to really getting up. Wow, Dad, you got 130 followers. I'm telling my friends you're famous. I'm like, shh, don't be telling, you know what I mean? Don't be telling them my friends want an autograph.
Me too while you're at it.
Yeah, my friends want an autograph. It's like, I'm like, quit that. Yeah. You know, like, but and then recently with the, you know, COVID, we decided we wanted to have another baby. And you know, in 2020 we had a miscarriage. Yeah. Not to get too on a heavy topic, but because I felt the simmer of but I checked out of the game for about a good couple of years because I had a lot of family things. So from 2019 to 2021, I didn't do anything. I literally deleted my Facebook. I was in a very dark place. And then, you know, Sam was like, I'm pregnant. I mean, we were very cautious at first, so we didn't say anything. And then it went really good, and we have a very hyperactive, very happy kid. This kid is the happiest kid I've ever met in my life. Yeah. And he's very smart. And I feel like he makes me a better person because I'm more patient as a father than I was in my 20s when we had twins. It's just so many things, like, because, you know, that's why I'm like, I see why people say wait till you to have kids.
I can only imagine your first set of kids were twins too. I mean, that's
gotta be a lot.
Yeah, that has to be a lot to deal with.
Yeah, yeah, and you know, like, and then trying to find yourself because this 9-to-5 jobs before doing this full time, which I'm really happy. Is this to wake up and knowing that you're doing something you love doing is nothing, because 9-to-5 job, it just felt like I was on Mars. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like no job, I fit in, and
and you're just literally living every day, and you're like waking up doing this, going to bed, waking up doing this, going to bed, and it sucks. It does suck. It's like you're stuck
like,
on a loop.
How can I get to where I am? And then you're about to film this movie. Oh, you got mandatory overtime. No, I got to film. No, you got to be here. And it's like a lot of people unfortunately cave in, and then they kind of give up that passion. And it's like, then I really am a firm believer, like a lot of people who are very bitter sometimes, like as older, I feel like they really
just have regrets.
They have regrets that they wish they would have took that chance. And
that's true.
I'm glad that I did. I mean, it caused me a marriage before. I lost a lot, but I don't regret it.
And you gained more from it too.
Yeah.
So,
well, I think most of that comes from because I have the greatest woman in the world. Yeah. My wife, Samantha, although she's a pusher. She's a yeller. She's very tough, but she's the toughest woman, but yet the most loving woman.
That's awesome.
But I don't think I would be the man if it wasn't for her, because just her level of support and understanding and gratitude and pushing me to be better, to be a better father, a better husband. And then like her really tag teaming and giving up her career, which I did not ask her to do. Yeah. And helping me.
It's good to have support like that because it's hard to find. It really is. In this industry, it's so hard to have.
Seeing so many people struggling and trying to do everything themselves, and I'm like, I have a really blessed wife that is doing all of this. And
is she behind us with cue cards?
No. All
right, come out of the closet.
Here's my thing, and the reason why I'm saying this is because you hear conversations. I hear so many people talk so much crap about their spouse, and I can't help but wonder, well, why are you with them?
Why are you with them? Yeah, that's what it comes down to. Why are you with
Although sometimes, she can get on my last nerve, but she's my 80. There's no such thing as 100. She's my 80. I would not be where I'm at if it wasn't for her, and I always make it a point to speak about that because me as a man, I think it's very important to give praise where it's due. Yeah. And again, there's a lot of people who I feel like they say so many crazy things about their spouse, and it's just like, But then, like, when they with them, they like that they never said those things.
Yeah, I know.
You know? Hey, how's it going? Hey, I thought you said she was like, hey, no.
We're gonna talk about that right now.
You know what I mean? Like, if she wasn't these things, I would not be here saying it. And especially after some of the really bad relationships I've been in.
Yeah.
But
it takes a lot to have somebody like that support you too. It's
this
tiring.
is a really crazy
late nights and all that stuff that, you know, especially with you directing and producing and writing.
I feel like I'm Batman.
Yeah.
I'd be like, all right, we're gonna go see a movie. I gotta go. Where is she? I swear, like, it's what sometimes it feels like. Like being a filmmaker, you can be really planning to do something, and then you're just like Peter Parker, like, I was gonna make it, but you know, I had a.
Yeah.
It was a
So what's like the most difficult or the biggest obstacle you ran into, like in any of your films? Like, what is the toughest thing that you've had to overcome?
Man, honestly, I can give you a story for each film.
Yeah.
With Payday, I would have to say really being very disconnected with my lead actress, and I did not handle the situation the best. And I probably, you know, like she shut down. She was ready to go home.
Mm-hmm.
I had to put my ego aside, and we had a really long heart-to-heart talk, and then we turned it around.
Good.
Well, that's good.
And she did a really good job.
Yeah.
But she also was that actress that kind of showed me that I had to also trust the actor because I hired them. And when you have doubts with the actor, then so I really have a lot to thank her for that because I could have handled it better, and I didn't. And that taught me how to really approach actors and definitely really build up and pep talk way before to make sure that everybody's on the same page with everything. So that way, there's no last minute changes on set. Beast of the Field, as you know, the hurricane.
Yeah.
Locked in, the cold. Really, I wrote Robert Meeks so much dialogue. He's never had that much dialogue on a set, and he kept cussing me out. Everybody's gonna watch this video and know I'm telling the truth. But he was not happy with me, and I was like, "Bro, you had a script for about a year. I was trying to get you some FaceTime. I thought you gonna like this." But usually he's usually kind of a quiet. But Robert Meeks, he's a very interesting guy because he's a more serious kind of guy, and I'm kind of a bit of a goofball. So I had to find a balance where I can tell he thought I was a bit immature, But we just had different personalities. Yeah. But at the end of the day, he did really good as Guy. He showed up. He's very, very chill. He sounds like Josh Brolin and Thanos.
Really?
Hey, Chase, come here. So can you tell me why I'm coming in here? And why would I do that? Well, as you can see in the script, Robert.
I was gonna say, did you read the script?
But no, like, but it wasn't that he didn't read the script. He was more like, I guess he was
the motivation,
right? Motivations and
stuff,
stuff like that. And again, and like I wasn't sure if he was hearing me because as he was hearing me, he was going, and I was like, and you know, when somebody do something that kind of throws off what you're saying, I'm like, so as you're moving. But ultimately, he did a really good job with Amber and everything, and the movie turned out really, really good. I wish the sound could have been better. The performances, the gore, all of that was top notch. It was just the sound.
Yeah.
But people are still giving it good reviews.
That's good.
It's hard for me to watch.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
But again, it's an experience.
Yeah.
What I did not sleep on the next project, aka Broken Innocence, was the budget.
Yeah.
With the sound.
Yeah. You learn from your mistakes, man. You do.
Right. So take my money. Top dollar, you know.
Well, also just kind of segueing into this, you mentioned working with that actor. You worked with some bigger actors now. So like, have you noticed any differences? You kind of talked about this, but I kind of want to hear more about it. About like your approach to directing bigger actors. Like, is there like a nervousness there at all, or is it just kind of like you have to take control of the situation? Like I am the director, kind of thing.
No. No, honestly, the bigger actor I worked with, the more I feel like they bring their ideals, and it's more of a relaxing because they've been very accepting to me. Like Paul T. Taylor, it was like we collaborated from day one, and he was literally sending me. I think I'm gonna be in like the 70s throwbacks. I think like he thinks he's cool, but he's not, but he thinks he is. And I'm like, I did not think that, but I love that. And then he was sending me pictures and I'm like, yes. And then on set, we were just collaborating. And then Lynn Lowry, she's just a goddess. Very beautiful, soft-spoken lady. She looks a lot like the chick from, I can't think of her name, I just drew a blank, but from the Hands That Rock the Cradle. Rebecca, I forgot. But
Yeah,
I know.
yeah, but she looks a lot like her. But I mean, being in the biggest body, like all the body of work that Lynn Lowry was in, I was probably the most nervous working with her.
Yeah.
But she was so calm. She was just waiting, and she's like, "Where would you like me, Chase?" You know what I mean? Like, she knew who she was, but she was calm.
Yeah.
And the scene was not going right that she was supposed to be in and locked in. I'm sitting there freaking out. Oh my God, we're gonna shoot her! And she was just like, "It's okay." And so she made me calm down because I was like, "Oh my gosh, she's gonna sit there and blast me on social media." Oh my God, like Chase Dudley is worst experience ever. Because I mean, she worked with George Romero. Who is Chase Dudley? But no, she was like, she made me feel important. She, after each take, she was asking me, "How did she do?" I'm like, "Dude, you're Lynn Lowry. You're good."
I think it's just an actor thing. Like some actors, they have to, especially like maybe the first couple of days, you just kind of want to hear like, "Oh, I'm doing."
But
right.
that is very important, and I think this is something I hope that directors listen to is making sure that you talk to the actor to make sure that they're happy, that they're giving the performance, because they are the ones putting themselves in front of the screen and really being vulnerable and putting themselves out there. The least you can tell them is how you're doing, or if you want something more. They're wanting feedback. They want another take.
Oh yeah,
I love you say that.
They want another take.
Yeah, I love that you say that too, because I just did a network TV show, and after I got done with one of my takes, the director walks over and she goes, "How do you feel like you did? Did you like it? Did it feel right? Did you feel like that you did what you needed to do?" And I was like, "Yeah, I feel like there's a little different." And then she would give me notes. She was like, "Okay, if you want to do this, you can do it this way. Let's do it again." And she would come over every time and she'd ask me, she's like, "How do you feel like you did? Do you feel like it was good?"
That's
I loved
very
it.
small but effective conversations. I've been on set where the director had another person tell the actor what they wanted. And I'm like, that's, to me, I know everybody has their own different method, but to me, that's very impersonal. I like to talk to everybody that I'm directing with, even like the background actors. I would get on that teleprompter, tell them what I need from them, and I'm loud and I'm very, very enthusiastic at what it is, because if I'm like, "Okay, I just want you to go behind that wall and you're gonna scream." Like loud, or you know what I mean? Like, because with my question, I have a question with a question usually, but I like enthusiasm, and I know not everybody is enthusiastic, but it helps because we're in a very anime dramatic industry called film industry, and actors love, like, they love creative input, and they love to know that you are happy with what they did.
Yes, absolutely.
And I have to thank Laura for that, because before that experience, like I literally thought she was gonna, like, I thought we lost. I thought our movie was gonna be over because I blew it. But once we had that long talk, she was very goofy. We got it done. I mean, Payday is one of those. I don't know if you all seen it, but it's a crime drama. It's a heist film, and it was inspired by the movie Dog Day Afternoon with Al Pacino.
Nice.
I've always wanted to do a heist film, and I'm glad that I did it, and I'm glad that I got SWAT to do. Like, they literally came in on the scene and
that's cool.
opened up.
Yeah, that is cool.
That's really cool.
Had a police officers, had a sniper on a roof.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it really was. It was stressful, but it was so worth it. Like, seeing that, like, the police come and the actors getting excited because we have real cop cars and SWAT.
That's really cool.
That is really
with Bishop
cool.
Stevens, swole guy.
Yeah, we're working with him on Deep in the Caves.
Yeah, see,
Anyway,
Bishop, he's
great dude.
He has charisma.
Yeah.
And he's really, like, diplomatic and really good at. He also kind of gave me some pointers on how to de-escalate the situation, and he really did a lot. He does a lot, man. Like, he's a very humble guy.
He is.
And he kind of give me a Danny Glover vibe to him.
Yeah.
He's always, I'm too old for this. But I like Bishop because he gives great advice. He's a very wise guy. I'm pretty sure he's been on Earth before, because it's just not too many people that have that,
have that
kind of knowledge.
mindset,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like he's like, did he pay his own child support when he was younger? You know, like I mean, that's how wise he is. I mean, wouldn't be surprised if he raised himself because I mean he's that wise of a person. And
so have you ever had somebody that you absolutely couldn't stand working with? Like you got on the set and you're like, this person is awful. This is a bad choice. Have you?
Yeah, and that comes, and I'm sure that people have felt that with me.
Yeah.
Because of course, I always try to reflect on my experiences. Did I handle certain situations? I feel that it was a part of me on a film, Retribution. It was a film that did not go any remotely right. No money involved. I like this is right before my wife came in and started helping me. There was just so much going wrong. Losing my cool on set and yelling at someone is something that should never happen, and I did that before. With the Laura situation, I didn't yell at her. I should have pulled her aside and told her about something I didn't feel I was getting, rather it being public.
Right.
Yeah.
So those are a lot of experiences that I learned the hard way. But yelling at somebody, that was very unprofessional on my part, and seeing how that made it feel. And somebody years later reached out to me and it was like, how you made me feel about that, and I didn't even realize I did it. And I was like, man, I'm sorry I did that. Like it really kept me down because I want everybody's I really want everybody's experience with me to be on the up and up, and I know that's not always going to happen. But when I'm in a wrong and I know that I did something wrong, and somebody remembers that and they let me know about myself that I did that, that's why, like, now I try to make sure I'm you got to be in a really good headspace, and just being in director's chair, and you should know, like, sometimes like so much information overloads you, and you can't turn left or right without question, and it's like.
You have an answer for everything.
Everything. And it's like,
whether you have it or not.
Chase, how's the air? It's good. It's like everywhere you go, there's a question. And that was when I was very inexperienced, very new, and I didn't handle it well. Yeah. But that experience taught me how to make sure when you have an issue, you talk in private, make that person feel respected.
Also, I'd like to point out, like, going kind of further back in our conversation, like, just the amount of time it took you to be like, now Broken Innocence is out, I'm happy about this. This is like the first one that, like, I really smiled when I saw the trailer.
Yeah.
And I think that really speaks volumes too. A lot of our audience is going to be, filmmakers and younger actors and stuff. So I think that just kind of tells you, like, I mean, I can say the same with my acting probably. Like, I look at stuff from 3 years ago, I hate it. I hate it.
See, that's how I'm like that with a lot of stuff. I look back on in Broken Innocence, making movies as long as I have. I mean, like, sometimes I even had to hide some of the projects that I've done because it's so bad.
Yeah.
This is a project that I'm, like, really proud of with, my cast and crew, knowing that we rocked it, seeing Brandon really handle his thing, seeing my wife do, like, 3 or 4 jobs on set because she was my AD, she was the overall producer, then she had a fill-in for production manager because
She did everything. Yeah.
I mean, it stressed her. And it was probably one of our most stressful shoots because, again, if you look in context on our budget, we just didn't have enough staff. Because indie budgets it's crucial.
You got a skeleton crew and kind of do what you can.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm really grateful for Brandon, because him being a director, he applied his job really well. He's seen some of the areas where I lacked, and he used that as a strength and never took credit. But I'm a kind of person, I'm not going to let a credit go unnoticed, and I'm not going to feed my ego because I'm not in this for ego. Yeah, I'm in this because I love making movies. But Brandon did a lot of amazing things. Ben Hilton was by far my best sound guy. Angela Grimm, really a nice lady. She always smiles, no matter what. Like, she's just like, it's like a professional.
Just always there.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of Liar Liar when she was like, those people want to interview you. He's like, oh yeah? How's my hair? Like, she's always, like, ready to go. And my wife, like, I'm just glad that she really takes a lot of that stress and let me do my thing. I hate that she has to do that. I'm like, honey, you're good. Like, you know, but she really cares about me getting what I want.
But at this point, too, she probably really enjoys it as well. I mean,
because I mean, she talks about that all the time. She's like, I love doing paperwork, and I'm like, you right?
You're doing great. I like it. So what's I know you got the what is it? So it's blood on the bleachers, right? Yeah. So what is your next steps with that? Like how? So I know you got Indiegogo going on right now. So
we were going to shoot in July 12th through the 26th. We're going to shoot 10 days. Or we got we're going to be shooting at a high school that we got for all of the days. It's a really cool school. I can't believe we got a high school location. We're having our costume developed now. I'm like so scatterbrained, but Donnie, I can't think of his last name. Donnie, I'm sorry. I just literally did like a contract with him and everything, so I don't know him. Like he's my best friend. Like I know you guys, but he like did all the sketches. We're doing like the classic 90s goosebump look for the mask. You see this mask in a costume, it just spills 90s. And then I just watched the trilogy to Fear Street, the Netflix.
Oh, it's amazing.
He loves it.
What? The whole scene, you haven't seen it?
Oh my God. I avoided this because I'm like,
it looked cheesy at first.
It did look cheesy, yeah.
But the meat cutter scene or whatever with oh my gosh.
And not even just that, but like how much death scenes it's doing better than
But it was like real gruesome stuff.
It really was.
It wasn't.
When you think of R.L. Stein, you don't think that.
No,
but
you don't.
But dude, please watch it.
Yeah.
Check it out.
It was so good, and it really.
There's three of them, right?
Yes, it is, and they just greenlit the fourth one.
Did they
Really?
Okay.
That right there, it was the perfect recipe to watch before the movie I'm making now because
it got you in the mindset of it.
It got me in the mindset because I've been on a 90s kick because I'm going back to the 90s.
Yeah. It's definitely a nostalgic like series, like limited series or whatever they call it. I don't know what they.
It was actually a 3-part movie.
Oh, is it a 3? Okay, I didn't know if it was like a limited series or not, but it was so good.
I can see why you said that because when I watched part 3 last night, because like I watched so many movies, it's insane. But like part 3 had 2 parts to it.
Yeah.
So was it part 4? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But it was the good.
So good.
It was so good, dude. Especially the second one. Sadie Sink is awesome. Yeah. And it's funny because Chloe Lutz from my movie looks like her. Is she like
really?
Is Sadie Sink dyed her hair brown? And then she was great in the teaser shoot that we did. She has such an awesome part, and she did like a 90s throwback. She wore a very similar wardrobe to Jennifer Love Hewitt, and I know she did last night. And teaser trailer. So you watch the teaser trailer. She wore that Julie James outfit. What are you waiting for? But it was so good because it I'm so excited for this project.
Yeah, man,
that's awesome, man. I can't wait to see it, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna be having a premiere for Broken Innocence. I don't know how to invite you guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I'm really happy with it.
I will definitely be there.
We'll be there
for sure.
So, can you just for the audience, can you just kind of plug like where they can find your stuff, like your website, the Indiegogo, like what's the easiest way for them to find all that?
Yeah, so you can go on my page. I post it every day. But Indiegogo, of course, you're going to find on Indiegogo. I'm kidding. But no, Payday and most of my movies are on Tubi, Amazon Prime, Freevee. I have not really kept up to date where you can find all of them, but you Google my name. The good thing is Google keeps up in like a folder for me apparently where you can just Google me and all of my movies that are listed.
Oh, that's cool.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
I guess I've been Googled long enough. I pop right up. That makes me feel good. I pop up right there. You see that? No, but it's good because usually because the first thing people do when they look me up is because I'll be like, I'm a filmmaker.
Yeah.
Well, what do you do?
Yeah.
And they give you a look like it's something bad. I'm like, no, I'm a filmmaker.
Oh yeah, the amount of times I'm like, yeah, I'm an actor.
Oh yeah,
whatever.
okay.
They're like, all right, what do you actually do that? Like, are you doing, adult films?
What's your real job?
Yeah.
No, whenever you put an IMDb,
and then they go like this.
They come back to you're like, wait a minute.
I love it. Yeah, it's. Yeah, you always get those questions as an actor. They're like, you're like, yeah, I'm an actor. Like, oh, what have I seen you in? What have you done?
Like,
You're
no,
like,
really.
yeah. So anything I've seen before that you might have been in? I'm like,
Well, you probably would recognize it. That's what I was.
yeah. That or they'll be like, why don't you do more Netflix stuff?
I know, yeah,
I get
that's
that all
the
the time
biggest
too.
thing.
I'm like,
You know what, and you always think that someone's gonna give you like the most like life altering advice.
yeah.
You know what you should do? You should be on Netflix.
Yeah.
I'm like, thank you. Do you know someone from Netflix?
Yeah. It's not that easy, I promise you.
Or you could be you can be on the filmmaker aspect and show your family. That looks like a real movie.
Oh yeah, get that one too. Yeah, get that one too.
Thanks. I guess.
What do my other movies look like? Well, all right, brother. Well, appreciate you, Chase, coming in here.
Thank you
It was
for having me on. This is by far
Glad
my
we finally got
first
to do this.
in-person podcast. So
Nice.
I'm very happy about that.
Well, you killed it.
So-
And
Yeah,
Until
and
next time.
thanks again for tuning in for Podcast Traveling Actors. We'll see you again next time.